Well, it just makes for an even better matchup. You've seen the 3 times that these teams have played each other. The first time a 7-goal win for the Bulldogs, then a 3-goal win and a 2-goal. It just, that familiarity makes them play even closer and tighter, and 2 just really well-coached teams.
After the teams traded possessions in between the 30s, Yale will have it here. Flynn Leonard, one of those outstanding first years that we'll highlight as we go on through this game. Shot through the slot goes in. Cole Jackson gets the scoring started.
Cole Jackson is going to be a problem for opposing defenses this year. That sweeping dodge across the top, he's just creating separation every time he goes and getting his hands free. And so that ball movement's going to come up top. And Cole Jackson just, you know, you want to play defense with your feet, and when your feet can't keep up with Cole Jackson and you're just, you know, swiping and trying to get a dig in there, not going to stop them.
Yeah, another quick starts. Yale had a 5-goal run through the mid part of the first quarter into the second, as we mentioned, BU with an 11-0 burst to begin the game against the Big Green. Inside dodge from Luke Pascal, and sophomore, who's also got goals in both games. Resets it out to Peter Moynihan, who had a pair against Marist on Tuesday evening. Moynihan, the junior from Cold Spring Harbor, New York. Nice pass in the middle, and the shot goes in. David Anderson with the finish. And believe it or not, that's his first goal of the season, despite now a dozen shots.
Well, one of the things that Coach Shea said to us is we talked about how good some of the first year Dylan Blakecki looked on that offense. And he said, listen, Anderson's going to shine in this offense. We need to find where we're going to get him those looks. And that quick pass from Gaitley up to Anderson, a guy who, you know, makes his money right in that middle inside, and he's wide open with nobody near him.
Had a great finish right into who suffered a season-ending injury in the early part of March last year, despite with 11 points. Tyler Fox, another local native, got a couple of players coming from Fairfield Prep who play together, now playing here with Boston University. Ben Morris. Now Forte, freshman from Maryland, former high school All-American. Oh, good feed in the middle, better save from Friedman. Ethan Hart thought he had the opener, but denied by the sophomore.
And that's a big save for Friedman, a big change from the last game. And you see a nice feed into the middle, and he punches that top hand out.
And it's unsettled chance here for Yale with the goalie out of the net and make it 3. Connor Gaitley with the opener, and that's where you're going to get with that 10-man ride. Often enough, Jim Kana drift around the slot. He's trying to pull the defense out a little bit and create those shooting lanes in the alley.
Well, and you see Yale with 2 players inside right now. You got Grogan and Anderson double crease, creating a little bit of, you know, question for that defense.
Long way out from Jackson, but there's no doubt it's Yale that lead by 4.
Wow. And a timeout there by Coach Poley.
And we will step aside with that, but Yale are flying out of the gate here. They lead by 4. Stay with us. You're watching Men's College Lacrosse on ESPN. Well, Cole Jackson getting his 2nd goal of the first quarter. That was nearly taken from the area code 860. We're in fact in 203.
Cole Jackson, 2 years ago or last year, Coach Shea said to me that he was a guy that he's just, and that's, I don't know, he's already on the ground by the time they're calling that push. He was off ball and actually missed, just kind of got him when he was already on the ground. So I'm not sure.
So BU will go on the man up here. 3 of 6 on the season thus far. One of the best man up units in the entirety of the country. In fact, they led the entire NCAA last year, and that's why. Quick pass in front. Peyton Forte with the finish, and there you go. Over 56% last year man up, and it's now 4 of 7 and 26.
What a fantastic, just perfect sneak inside, where you just see a quick Shanahan dishes inside and Friedman's not going to stop that one.
And that's where Shanahan can be so dangerous. You often see him at X, but he can drift into different pockets.
Anything, and that's a philosophy that, you know, really came from Coach Poley's time here with Coach Shea. And when Coach Poley was here, he was here with Graham Nemi, who's the head coach at Fairfield Prep down in Fairfield.
And with that, another turnover. You know, when you look at the statistics from BU defensively, they hold their opponents to under 20 shots on target, but Yale able to get it back in a good area. Dodge, shoot, score! Connor Gaitley once again.
Unsettled ball, and even more important than unsettled ball, unselfish ball. You know, Anderson there had the shot. He's got a low angle, so we see the turnover, a great takeaway check on Grogan, ground ball, and just aggressive, causes the turnover. Anderson, one more, and then a nice little hit. Are doing a fantastic job. And BU really causing trouble.
Again, look how aggressive the front three are for the Terriers.
And a turnover caused, and that's, if you look, that's Gaitley coming back across. And now Gaitley is stuck on defense.
They're trying to get the switch off here, but Shanahan's going to allow for the rest of the attack to come on. Mike Rooney trying to get around the shorty, which he does and scores. What a finish from Mike Rooney.
And that's a nice two-man play there. I'm not sure if it was a miscommunication or just a great pick, but Rooney able to get the split. And we go back to the replay.
It all starts from the caused turnover by Jimmy Core. And just patience. Love what Shanahan did to make sure getting more of the attack on.
And you see that broken defensive play.
Tristan Ghosh getting it across, and now Yale just look to settle it down. Here's the man of the moment right now, Cole Jackson. A couple of goals in that first quarter, including the second one from nearly the edge of the restricted area. When you don't really see too many goals coming from that far out. This is PLL, that's definitely a two-pointer. And that one goes in, a little bit of a bouncer, but still effective from Connor Gaitley.
Connor Gaitley has really, last game we talked about when they were playing Marist, that when they played Army, no assists, and they really needed to step up. And he had a great game against Marist with 4 assists. But here, he just goes one-on-one. There's no help coming. And he's just able to get above GLE and take that shot.
That wraps up his hat trick as well. He's had his hand in 4 of the team's 6 goals. Just the again, Yale's zipping the ball around, a little bit chaotic at times, but they're creating those good looks.
Only 10 seconds left on the shot clock there, and they pushed him way out to the corner there.
This is actually going to be a bit of a break here as our officials are going to come together.
I'm wondering if they're going to give a reset, because I'm hearing a lot of people yelling reset, and I think the officials are just trying to figure that out, confirm whether or not they need to, and it doesn't look like they're going to.
It will give Coach Shea and his offensive coordinator Colin Nesdale to set something up here with 10 seconds left. Grogan rolling the crease with 3. Pass in the middle. Oh, how about it? David Anderson with the finish, but give the beautiful helper to Sean Grogan.
That's the second shovel pass assist we've seen out of Yale so far today. And Grogan, I really thought, hey, that's great defense. He turned him back, and just a little shovel pass to David Anderson, who loves to be inside, and he gets lost in that defense in there. Knows what he's doing out there.
Another great effort, just going wide. Gaitley taking on all comers. We're seeing Phillips often enough just scramble in between the post. Yale are doing a nice job at working him to both sides, not just picking one side. making him feel uncomfortable. Into the alley with 7. Gaitley scores. Everything that Yale are putting on frame is going in. They've got 8, and still with 8+ left in the second.
This is a offensive clinic in this first half so far. Yale just moving the ball, waiting until they get low, and just starts with a little alley dodge, just gets that little corner, and then is able to switch his hands back into the inside and increase his angle. Gaitley just such a...
So Murphy McLaughlin, the 1-minute penalty. Yale, their first man up. This is only their 3rd man up of the season, albeit the young season, but looking for their first EMO goal. Gaitley reverses near alley. It goes in. Sean Grogan putting that over Phillips. Yale, their first man-up goal this season. They are flying right now. They lead the Terriers by over a half dozen. Phillips here in the first half, and it's the man that stood out on Tuesday, Sean Grogan, picking up his 3rd point of the afternoon.
Sean Grogan, a guy we highlighted at the beginning of the game, has really been a little bit quiet. Really dangerous plays that are going towards the head and neck, and it's not. He ran into him. He was trying to run him over. His arms were down, if anything.
Yeah. I think where the severity of the hit in real time looked, because the fact that Phillips was kind of closer to the ground, that's where I thought probably he could have went for that locked in. I mean, for Gaitley, he's just trying to make a play, and he saw a man try to knock it loose. It just happened to be the goalie. Beautiful no-look feed, and Shanahan scores. Give the credit on the assist to Finn Lawrence, picking out the top scorer.
Good ball movement, and Shanahan doing a wonderful job of sneaking around from X. And BU just, one of the things that it seems like they're doing is, you think about a lot of man-up plays where it's just they kind of develop into what they're doing. And BU, it's just a quick strike. It's, hey, what's there and that's available? Who talked about this game beforehand thought that Yale would be up 9-3, and of those 3 goals, 2 of them were man-up.
Jackson now rotating. Flynn Leonard trying to get his hands loose, switches fields, well read. Murphy McLaughlin with the interception. Terriers trying to push. Jimmy Core down to 15 on the clock, reverses fields. Shanahan. That's why he's a special player. Tim Shanahan, his 2nd of the game.
Big player shining big moments, and that is a huge goal for this BU team. The big difference between going in 10-3 and 9-4, and playing in transition. Shanahan does not pass the ball. He's going to take it, and he just stings that corner.
It's funny because the last time that Tim Shanahan played a game of record in the state of Moynihan in the middle, shot was blocked. Sanderson tried the question mark, but Yale again with another ground ball. Those are going to play so large. I talked about, can you have that finished product in April and May? You need to have those intangibles and those bounces that go your way, and Yale are winning everything.
And all the youth coaches out there that love to talk about ground balls winning games, and this is a 31-14 advantage for Yale on ground balls right now.
Asher Ziv. Beautiful feed out in front, and an easy finish for David Anderson. And that again comes from what? The 4th chance in this possession?
Defensively, you've seen Yale be able to extend possessions and keep them going. And David Anderson, Coach Shea looking kind of prophetic, saying he was going to shine, and that is where he shines, is when you're able to let.
It's going to be a 1-minute penalty on the junior. Boston University has been very good, and really to no one's surprise on the man up today. 2 of 3. And Ben Friedman making the save, now already in double figures. right before the foul was committed. Nice save again. Friedman having to go low to take away the Pape effort. Stays on. But that one put home. Finn Lawrence unloading it into the corner.
Finn Lawrence, man, what a cannon on that. And you look at we talked about BU not winning the ground balls on their defensive end of the field and letting plays get extended. And there you saw a save, but then BU gets the ground ball and then 2 passes and a nice rocket. He's so close, and we couldn't see where the ball was going out there, but a good, listen, he was going to make it one way, and he said, no, we're going to go this way with it.
Well, if you're BU, you got to make this count here. It feels like that's icing in hockey, right? Where you have someone that's closer to the end line, but then someone that's got the better angle.
Another great play from Tristan Ghosh, just lining it up, squaring up the offensive player, and taking the ball away.
Trying to go quickly are the Bulldogs, and they make it count. David Anderson wrapping up his hat trick.
This is what you've seen out of the Yale offense the last 5-6 years, where you see Grogan so this is going to be the Ghosh takeaway. Boom, just a little lift, enough to knock the ball out. And then Grogan dodging up top, where he had so much success and his hands are free, but no, I'm going to make one more and hit that to David Anderson. Phillips there and stopping the bleeding. But you talked about Conrad and Friedman being neck and neck. The thing about Conrad, he's such a stable goalie, and he's going to make good saves for you. But right now, Ben Friedman is stealing goals from BU. He is stealing those goals, and if he can keep doing that, that's going to just bode well for this Yale defense all year.
I mean, 31 shot attempts from the Terriers, 20 of those on target. As that one is put home by Pape. And eventually you keep shooting. They're going to go past the goalie, and Andrew Pape has his. As we will step aside here from Reese Stadium, but it's Yale who lead by 5 over the Terriers. We'll be back in a moment. Well, on some days, goalies can turn into the form of a human wall. That is what Ben Friedman has done here in his second career collegiate start. He's doubled up +1 on his high of saves. He's got 15 today. And Pat, a lot of them have been stopping grade A chances.
Yeah, his hand speed is fantastic.
Sustained this average of 5 to 6 to 7 goal lead. Pape drags a couple out wide. Payne Forte. Shanahan able to reverse. Another job of what Yale defenders have been able to close down Tim Shanahan at X. Sure, he's got a couple of goals today, but he hasn't been able to facilitate the way that he usually does. But that one is put home by Shanahan.
And you're seeing the momentum start to switch. You're seeing Tim Shanahan start to get a little bit warm. Yale going to help, and he's able to get open. A good dodge. And Papazano, you see, puts his hands on his face because he knew they've really been doing a good job this whole game of kind of just keeping Shanahan from getting the ball. Think about the transition or the path for him to BU. Played for Graham Nemi, who was the other assistant here with Coach Poley. And you know that relationship, I'm sure that Coach Nemi said, hey, Coach Poley, you got to get this guy on your team.
He was just flourished up in Boston. They're under the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. Gaitley now with Peter Moynihan, who has been one of the few Yale attackers held in check here today. Still under 30 on the shot clock. Inside dodge, it's put away. Sean Grogan once again.
One of the things we've talked about, how BU is getting more shots than Yale, but I think Yale's just being a little more efficient with their shooting. You see Grogan just gets to that inside dodge from 5, gets to 5 and 5, and is just able to turn the corner and shoot.
Good slide. Well, the reverse was on. Goes over the bar. That was in the alley from Anderson. You bet for him, again, coming into today, had 11 shot attempts in 2 games without a point, but today he's got 3 goals and an assist. As a goal scorer, you need to be filling the back of the cage. Another, oh no, it went in. Pascal had the bouncer go off the stick of Phillips and in, and Yale are back up by 6.
A nice jump shot, high to low, bounces off of Phillips' foot.
Oh, and you could see Phillips look up.
Yeah.
He probably thinks he should have put that one around the pipe. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's a great look because that ball kind of checked back inside, and I think that took it away from the stick.
Yeah.
Goes underneath the armpit and bounces in. It's a bad break, but again, you're never going to be faulted as a shooter late in the clock to force a difficult save.
And you think about what coaches have always said to kids about shooting. Shoot high to low, bounce, change the plane of the ball, you know, getting to the middle of the field. All those things that they're doing. Woo!
What a finish. Jimmy Core.
Jimmy Core also getting to the middle of the field and just ripping a shot past Friedman.
It was quick off the faceoff win from Madden Murphy. And then Tim Shanahan just allowing the play to develop in front of him. And actually, you know what? You're not going to give an assist to Madden Murphy there, but he said a little. So another 30-second on Crotty for a hold. Finn Lawrence, who's already scored 1 long distance goal, but not a second. Brilliant stop by Friedman. Boy, just reel up the saves because he has produced, I'd probably have to say, 8 or 9 top drawer stops. Shanahan, not going to stop that. That is unreal from the reigning Patriot League Rookie of the Year. Tim Shanahan's got a 4 spot on the Saturday afternoon.
Tim Shanahan from no angle, sting in the top corner, and Friedman is saying, I should have had that one. But just a little quick one more, and he's able to get his hands free and just changes the plane of that stick from a little, gets it a little bit lower.
I love that look.
Yeah.
Because you think that's an audacious angle to shoot. Taking the clock down at least, what, 80-second clock, so you want to take it at least to 30 before you start making any motion.
And it looks like that's what they're doing. They get to 30, and you see Moynihan start his dodge. Because you're still going to need to score. You're going to need to put some goals in the net. But you have to take time as well.
Pascal dodging, down to 10 on the clock. Moynihan scores. Went down low. Phillips must have not seen it, and that's the response Yale needed.
A good quick shot from Peter Moynihan, dodging downfield, using his body to shield Phillips from seeing the ball, and it just looks like he's dodging, and then boom, it's a quick shot between 2 defenders. That's a great timed shot.
Oh yeah, and Phillips, that's another one that he's going to want.
And they're going to take their time. Under 6 minutes in the game.
Connor Gaitley, and what a game he has had here today. 4 goals and an assist. Gaitley coming off of a goal and 4 assist performance back on Tuesday. And that one goes in. David Anderson, again, held in check through 2, not held any longer. He's got 5 points.
David Anderson is just such a threat inside. He's just lethal. And you see this beautiful C cut. Gaitley gets a high and then just circles it back. And Anderson's able to catch it, not stop moving his feet, just keep curling around, and then just rip that past Phillips. Their big possession for Yale.
Yale getting goals from 6 different sources this afternoon. And the amount of assisted goals as well. That was something that, again, you were looking at. You got 3 helpers from Sheehan. You've got 2 from Gaitley. Ziv and Anderson each with 1. Grogan with a pair. Everyone's helping each other out. Great pass in front. One more for Moynihan. Why not?
And BU in a situation where they had to create, so they're doubling the ball, pulling everybody out, pulling Phillips out of the net, and just a great touch pass from Gaitley. A little lob pass to Moynihan between 2 threads, the needle, and he's able to just finish with nobody in the net.
So that's now 12 points on the week for Connor Gaitley. He had 5 on Tuesday, 7 here today. Between the Bulldogs and the Terriers, the women's teams will square off. 3:30 is your start time for that one.
And this, for a young Yale team, you're an underdog at home, and you're able to come away with a convincing win against a very good team.
Yeah. Then Penn State on next week out in Happy Valley. That's going to be another difficult assignment against a Big Ten opposition. Oh, how about that for a finish? Peyton Forte not going out without a little bit of fight and vigor. That's his 2nd of the afternoon.
Forte getting his hands free there and just ripping that shot. And Forte was just beneficiary. You beat your man, you score a goal, you see, you draw the slide. And Pisano, who's been trying to stay with Shanahan, was staying there so he didn't hedge for that second slide, or that slide.
BU able to win the face-off, taking off of Ben Cuomo. So we've spoken a lot about Yale, Pat, on the BU side, as that one's put away from a tight angle by Jimmy Core. You can't fault really the shot selection from the Terriers today. Offensively, they've looked really, really good. They just ran into a really good goalie on the day.
Yeah, Friedman's been fantastic, and you're going to see a little alley dodge. And that's probably the one that I think he'll want to have back more than anything else, because it's just such a low angle shot. Didn't even get a stick back to the middle.